Welcome back to Oceans in Action. I'm your host, Scarlett. Today we aren't taking you to a tropical paradise with coconut trees. We are taking you somewhere mysterious, rugged, and teeming with life.
That's right. Put away the sunscreen and grab your rain boots. We're heading to the edge of the world.
Today we're exploring the legendary Chiloe Island in Chile. Joining me is our team of experts, Krithik, our geography specialist, Reese, our climate analyst, Ethan, our aquatic biologist, and Sahaj looking at the human connection. So Krithik, orient us. Where exactly is Chiloe?
Thanks, Scarlett. So if you look at a map of South America and go down the spine of the Andes Mountains in Chile, right before the land breaks apart into thousands of smaller islands, you hit Chiloe. It's a group of islands separated from the mainland by the Chacao Channel.
It's actually the second largest island in Chile, and isolation is the key word here. Because it's separated from the mainland, it actually developed a completely unique ecosystem and culture.
Exactly. Geologically, it's fascinating. It's a continuation of the coastal range mountains. The terrain isn't flat. It's rolling hills and low mountains, and on the western side, you have these rugged cliffs facing the open Pacific Ocean.
And what about the greenery? I heard it's intense.
Oh, it's insane. We're talking about Valdivian temperate rainforest. This is one of the few temperate rainforests in the world. It's dense, it's green, and it's full of ancient trees, like the alurs.
You mentioned temperate rainforest, which sounds wet. Reese, what is the weather actually like?
Hi everyone, glad to be here. Hola. Wet is an understatement. Scarlett, Chile has an oceanic climate, specifically a CFB climate in the Köppen classification. It is cool and rainy year-round.
So, it's not crazy warm?
If you look at our climatograph here, you'll see the rainfall bars are consistently high, especially in the winter months of June and July. The temperature curve is fairly moderate. It rarely freezes, but it rarely gets hot. Summer highs are only around 60 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit.
The locals say if you can't see the mainland volcanoes, that means it's raining, and if you can see them, that means it's about to rain.
Definitely not. If you're packing for a trip to our eco lodges, here's my advice. Layers. You need a waterproof outer shell, not water resistant, waterproof. Wool is your best friend because it keeps you warm even when damp.
Are your feet wet? Are you sinking into the mud while trying to admire a penguin?
Oh no, my socks are soaked again.
Then you need the Chiloe Stiltwalker 3000. Inspired by the famous Palafito's House of Castro that stand above the tides on wooden stilts, we've created boots that keep you high and dry.
Wow, now I can stand in the intertidal zone without getting wet.
The Chiloe Stiltwalker 3000, because on the island, the tide waits for no one. Available at the gift shop.
Okay, thanks for that, Sahaj. Speaking of tides, let's go to Ethan. The ocean is literally half the story here.
Ideally, yes. The aquatic biomes of Chile are incredibly productive. The most critical one here is the intertidal zone.
Define that for our listeners who skip biology class.
It is the area that is above water at low tide and underwater at high tide. In Chile, the tidal range is huge, sometimes up to 7 meters.
Exactly, but that rain is what drives the sustainability of the island. It feeds the rivers and the dense vegetation we rely on.
Indeed it is, and that creates specific abiotic factors. The organisms here have to deal with crashing waves, changing salinity levels when it rains, and drying out when the tide is low.
So what actually lives there?
The biotic factors, the living things, are amazing. You have giant barnacles, mussels, which locals call chorritos, and varied seaweed species, and because of the food source, we have the wetlands. Specifically, the Plowo wetlands. It is a crucial stopover for migratory birds like the Hudjasian godwit. They fly all the way from Alaska to Chile just to eat in these mudflaps.
And we can't forget the penguins.
Right? The Pluna Wheel Islets are the only place in the world where Humboldt and Magellanic penguins nest side by side. It's a biodiversity hotspot.
You know, Ethan, we've talked a lot, but the land under the water is just as wild. Those rolling hills I mentioned earlier, They don't just stop at the sand. They drop way down into deep, cold paths that were carved out by massive sheets of ice thousands of years ago.
That's right, Krithik. And those deep drops are exactly what bring the big guys to the island. Because the ocean floor falls away so fast, we get what I like to call the deep sea elevator.
An elevator. I like the sound of that. How does that work?
Well, the cold, deep water from the bottom of the ocean gets pushed all the way to the top. This water is full of tiny snacks that everything else wants to eat.
So it's basically a giant underwater kitchen. The shape of the seafloor makes the food come right to the surface.
Exactly! And that kitchen is the reason Chiloe is one of the best places in the world to see blue whales. These are the biggest animals to ever live on Earth, larger than any dinosaur. It's truly amazing to see these giants swimming through the narrow, foggy gaps between the islands.
It's so cool how the shape of the land makes this the only place on the map some of these animals want to be at. It's like the island was just built for them.
It sounds like Chiloe is a delicate balance between the rainy forests and the tidal seas.
It really is. As we move through this podcast series, we're going to look at how humans live here sustainably. From the wooden churches to the salmon farms, everything depends on keeping those biomes healthy.
We hope you'll join us next time as we dive into the culture and people of this misty archipelago.
Don't forget to check the show notes for our sources and a picture of those penguins.
For Oceans in Action, signing off from Chiloe. Bye!
Bye!
Bye, adios.
再见!